It's always surprising to see an EP do better than a full album released before it, and that's saying something when it comes to the Chainsmokers. Welcome to Ray Reno Does Music, where we're taking a look at perhaps my only real guilty pleasure when it comes to music, the Chainsmokers with their EP Sick Boy. Now, from jumping up and down the track. Let's try that again. Jumping up and down the charts in 2016 and 17 with their collage EP that had such hits such as Closer, Don't Let Me Down, and others, to the, let's say, forgettable album Memories Do Not Open, the Chainsmokers had a very interesting 2 years when put together. With the last EP they put out being Collage, an album that I actually have right here, and producing a lot of hits, while they might have been more low-key like All We Know or Setting Fires, I really did feel that the Chainsmokers, I can't get the CD back in the case. There we go. I really feel like the Chainsmokers do better with a more limited track listing as compared to a full-length album, because again, with Memories Do Not Open, it was just kinda, let's say, iffy. I'm not gonna be too hateful with so many reviews in a row. I'm just gonna say it was a very divisive album. I really hope that they would strip things down and be a lot more simple with this solo EP going forth, and they really did deliver on that sort of indirect promise, as I feel the songs here have a lot more quality as compared to the quantity from before. The title track is a fantastic example of how to build up momentum in both anticipation, and follows the same sort of, I suppose, lyrical flow that you saw a lot on Collage. It very much feels like it could have belonged on the album, both just for the overall sound, and the reflective mood very much calls back to that album. That era for this duo was more grounded than the very boastful album that came after, and this EP really feels like it's sort of bringing things down back to earth, not so much going to roots per se, the roots being more so songs like Selfie and maybe Don't Let Me Down, but this album really does feel much like a safe return to what they know and what they can do with very little issue. So something that the Chainsmokers did a lot on this release is kind of take a very satirical approach to themselves. With a song called Everybody Hates Me, it really feels like they just sat down and thought to themselves pretty much what the track says. Hey, people dislike us, let's take it and run with it in a sort of song. And they pull this off fantastically. It comes off as funny and nearly ironic in tone with a lot of the lyrics. And the self-deprecation laid in all throughout that song really, again, it's just bringing them down to earth. It's making them seem like humans writing songs rather than very popular people making songs to be consumed. It's two people actually making music that's both relevant to their situation, that, again, sounds good. There's nothing I can really point out, but it's something that's very replayable. And they're just making fun of themselves, and that's a really great element to have in any form of entertainment, excuse me. Whether it be music, comedy, or really anything. Just because a song feels very methodical as opposed to melodic, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. This comes into play on the lead track, Sick Boy, which is very anthemic and decided to go for a proper balance between something that feels at home in an arena tour and something that feels at home as well for a sort of coffee shop appearance, if that makes any sense. Oh god, my accent came out of that coffee. Coffee. This is going to be a rare case of a very short review that, well, there's probably one more thing I could say. You Owe Me is a great song that it sort of bounces from the self-deprecation to sort of poking fun at somebody to where it's like, hey, I did these things for you, and it's just what the song title says. That instrumental beat is probably the most intoxicating and the one that really stuck in my head for a long time, which is something you really want to aim for with EDM or electronic music. So points to Chainsmokers for being able to produce something like that. But beyond that, there's really nothing much to say. It's a 4-song EP. It has relatively distinct instrumentals, not so much far-reaching out different when it comes to the sounds, but they did manage to keep things very short and simple. And this actually is supposed to be the first part of their second full-length album coming out. And if they can manage to communicate all these feelings and tones throughout this next album, I feel like it could not just outsell Memories Do Not Open, but very much make it something forgettable, and what I really hope is a long career from the Chainsmokers. So let's get into the rating here. I want to state first off that since this is an EP, and what I define as an EP is something that's either under 10 tracks or under 30 minutes. If it has one of those qualities, it's a full-length studio album for me. Otherwise, it is not an EP. So instead of a score out of 10, it gets a score out of 5. And today, Chainsmokers are getting a 3.2 out of 5. If you want to round that up a little bit, it's a 6.4 out of 10. I'd love to rank it higher, but with it being 4 songs and EDM, it sort of falls itself, makes it fall into a bit of a trap where it's like there's not much to really pick out and superbly praise it for. If they can keep up this creative integrity and just creativity in general, then I really do feel like the second full-length album could be their best release in general by far. But that's the review. A bit of a quicker one here today, so let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Did you agree with what I said? Did you disagree with what I said? Are you still trying to drink away the memories of the song Break Up every night? Oh no! Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, dislike, subscribe, unsubscribe, share, Instagram it, retweet it, tout it. Don't forget to unsubscribe from my channel. I'll see you in the next video.